So I just got done watching The Gray Man, the new Netflix movie that just came out today. I got done with it, I want to say about 20 minutes ago, so did just get done with it. And this review is going to be outside, so you will likely hear background noise, so just ignore that, or try to ignore that, because I can't do anything about that. But I just thought I'd make this review outside since I changed it up a little bit. But yeah, so let's talk about The Gray Man. So The Gray Man is directed by Anthony and Joe Russo and stars stars Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, and Ana de Armas. The plot of The Gray Man goes like this. When the CIA's Thomas asset, his identity known to no one, uncovers agency secrets, he triggers a global hunt by assassins set loose by his ex-colleague. So what did I think of The Gray Man? Well, this was a movie that I was pretty excited for, especially considering its great cast list and what it could offer from the promotional material for it. And also because it's directed by the Russo brothers, who have given us great movies in the past, such as Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Unfortunately, coming out of it, oh boy was I disappointed. I'm gonna be honest with you all, this has gotta be one of the worst movies of the year so far for me. I'll start with a couple things that I did like about the movie. For starters, the action is great, and I think it looks very cool in many parts. The performances are also great, and I think the actors and actresses deliver them really well. And finally, I did feel sympathy for Claire with her father, because she definitely did not deserve to lose her father. However, that's it for the things that I liked about this movie, so let's get down to the things I disliked about this movie. For starters, I found all of the characters to be really boring and not interesting at all. And I also really didn't feel anything for them. Well, with the exception of Claire and the father, like I said before. Also, there are so many time jumps in this movie, which may not seem like a bad thing, but in this movie, it certainly was for me. Like, it begins in the past, then jumps to the present, then jumps back to the past, then jumps back to the present, and then jumps forward more into the present. For me, this just came off as really messy and really not set up well. Quite possibly the biggest problem that I had with this film is that it was really boring. Like, seriously, this movie's 2 hours and 9 minutes, yet it feels like it's almost 3 hours. I kept looking at the amount of time that I had left of it, and each time I could not believe how slow this movie's pacing was. I really did not expect to be this bored watching this movie. Overall, The Gray Man was a massive disappointment for me. Sure, there were some things that I did like about the movie, like the great action, great performances, and the sympathy I felt for Claire and her father, but the film suffers from really boring and uninteresting characters, a very messy and slow pace with the amount of time jumps there are in this movie, and worst of all, being really boring and feeling longer than its runtime actually is. Like I said before, this is honestly one of the worst movies of the year for me so far. To be more exact, this is now my second least favorite movie of the year so far. Just a little under Firestarter 2022 and slightly surpassing the 355. The reason why I found it slightly worse than the 355 was that the 355's pacing was at least not messy, but rather just slow and boring. If you're interested in checking out The Gray Man, then go ahead. It's on Netflix, or go see it if it's playing in theater near you, since it is playing in theaters. But I recommend you going with not the highest expectations. The Gray Man was not absolutely terrible for me, but it was an awful and disappointing mess for me. Overall, I'm giving this film a 1.5 out of 5.